This is Lynn Fraser with the Kiloby Center for Recovery and the Radical Recovery Summit. I'm really pleased again to speak with Karen Koenig. And Karen, I wanted to get people together, some of the people that we've talked with in past recovery summits. And in particular, I hear so much about eating right now.
Mm.
All kinds of jokes online about how we're going to be so fat when this is over. And people are turning more to alcohol and food. And so what are you seeing and what are some suggestions you might have for people?
Uh, it's really hard to say. I will say it's one of those times that I think people can try one of two things. Either they can say, "I'm doing the best I can. I will try to eat according to my appetite and eat healthfully. And if I don't, this is so unusual that I will just take care of myself the best I can." And
Hmm.
that's all some people can do.
Hmm.
Or, and I like this idea better, people can really use this time as a kind of, I don't like the word boot camp, but that's what comes to mind. Um, Time to say, great, no other distractions. Um, I can really pay attention to my food now. I have more control over it, and I have control, hopefully, if somebody has, over my time. And I will make better choices. I will eat more mindfully. I'll spend more time finding other pleasures, and I'll use it to learn how to reduce my stress. Great. It's like a little microcosm. So those are my thoughts on
Right. Well, and I've noticed that some people are saying, and I've noticed this for myself too, that it's actually easier for our nervous system right now, even with all the fear and all of the feelings of powerlessness and we don't know what's going to happen. That there's something about staying home and not fighting traffic and not negotiating with people at work and all of those things is actually very calming to the nervous system. So that
it.
would give people maybe a little bit better of a chance. I see lots of people that are cooking meals together. Not that many people are eating out, takeout even. And so that gives us a different opportunity, that's for sure.
It does, I think for some people, it's really one of those, one size doesn't fit all.
Mhm.
If if someone is home with three kids
Oh, yeah.
and trying to work at home,
Mhm.
that's really different than uh, by yourself or with your cat
Mhm.
and just having time being your own. So some of it depends, where the party is, and some is what you're bringing to the party. So
Right.
that's why I really think people have to know themselves pretty well to say, now, can I do this? If so, great. I'm going to
Mhm.
really focus on it. And
Mhm.
if not, okay, there'll be other times to focus on it.
Right.
Because, of course, dysregulated eaters will just use that, well, I should be doing this to
Yeah.
beat
Yeah.
themselves up. So
Yeah.
there has to really be an out.
Mhm. Yeah, the whole kindness piece and not shaming ourselves. And this is, it's like we're all in the same boat, but we're not all having the same experience. And that's something that is really good to keep in mind at the top of our mind that if you're in a situation where you've lost your job and you're really struggling financially, or if you're in a place where, a lot of people I talk with have one person who has one idea about social distancing and the other partner has another idea. And that creates a lot of fear and contraction too. And certainly anyone with children at home, that creates a lot of opportunities to co-regulate and to connect with each other, but also that could be just out of reach a lot of the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to in some ways is, you know, is it as we were talking about before, is this causing more stress or not?
Hmm.
If it's causing less, then I think people have a pretty good shot at using it as a laboratory
Hmm.
to pay attention to
Right.
eating and self care.
Hmm.
If it is causing so much more stress, it is that perfect storm of more stress, less pleasure, fewer pleasures than we normally have. That you know,
Right.
um, if they're in that situation, I think to ask themselves to manage their eating better uh,
Mm,
is just going to make it harder for them.
right.
So let them do what they've done before, and there'll be another time in their life where they can do this more easily.
Right. Once things settle and things are more back to normal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it reminds me of a conversation I had with a client yesterday, who, but it was about alcohol, and she's traveling, and her car broke down. She said, "Oh, it's supposed to be 2 days, and it's a week, and I want to get back to Florida." And so I said, "How's your drinking?" "Well, I had 3 drinks yesterday." And she said, "But this is an unusual situation." Um, so I said, "There's always going to be unusual situations.
Yeah, true.
This is a great time to practice on
Yeah.
this kind of unusual feeling, helpless, frustrated." Um, so it's important for people to remember that if they don't do it this time, there will be other times when they can go out and take
Right.
a closer look at how they want to eat.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, those are all so important. One thing I noticed on your website is you have an app now.
I've had
Can you
that app for a long time.
have you?
Appetite.
Okay, can you talk a little bit about that and how people might use that?
Sure. It's a Facebook app.
Mhm.
Um, and it really helps you think about your eating decisions. I'm really glad you mentioned it. Gosh, I've probably had it maybe for close to 10 years. It's for people to use as they would a journal.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
There's also, I believe there are two prompts on it. I think you can pick a prompt. People generally say to me, "Well, my hardest times are late afternoon or at night."
Mm, mhm.
Nobody says it's early in
Yeah,
the morning.
no,
Oh,
that's
right.
yeah.
So you set your prompt and it I think it asks, how are you feeling? What can you do now? That that's to avert unwanted eating. Um, and people can make it into a journal or a diary, however they want to use it. They just have to sign on to Facebook and it goes to the app.
Hmm. Oh, that's really cool. And are you working on a new book?
I am, even as
Yeah.
we are speaking, I'm working on a book on self-talk
Mhm.
out next year. It's called Words to Eat By.
Ah.
Um, and self-talk and self-care.
Mhm.
And I just got my first edits back from the publisher, and I'm going through those edits and
Uh-huh.
revising. And
Oh,
I'm excited because to me, self-talk is really where it's at.
it
You
is.
can change anything else, but if you garbage in, garbage out. If you
Yeah.
can't tell your trash talk from your treasure talk,
Mhm.
can't leave the junk at the doorstep,
Mhm.
um, and guard your valuables, you won't make it. So this is
Right.
very detailed. What do I say when this happens, when that happens?
Ah, okay. Do you have a quick tip for people around that?
Um, well, my favorite is actually not from that, but it's I've been trained in rapid resolution therapy.
Mhm.
Uh, there's a wonderful, I might as well plug it, free um, video that John Connelly, who developed it, uh, does, and it's on fear. People can Google it. And so he talks about how thoughts are either useful or they're not. It's pretty clear cut.
Mhm.
So when you have that thought, you're sitting at home, wanting to go out and do something, and lonely or you're helpless. Gee, that um, cake that's left over from my child's birthday party is sitting in the refrigerator. You don't have to go through a lot. You can just think, is this a useful thought or not?
Oh, okay. That's really clear.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
isn't. Most of us, as he points out, we think about, am I right or not? Or
Mm, mhm.
um, did did I make a fool of myself at the party? We want that truth or not. But is it useful to be thinking about whether you made a fool of yourself at the party
Right.
when the party was, 3 months ago?
Mhm.
Probably not.
Right. Yeah.
So that's my tip. It's really awesome and it works really well for what another author calls neurological junk.
Right, right. Well, I'll put the link to that here, and people can reach you. Do you wanna just tell us your website name so that people know where to
Sure.
go?
It's KarenRKoenig.com. I blog 3 times a week. They're short, very digestible. And
Mhm.
I have a Facebook page, Normal Eating with Karen Koenig, and that has articles and other things on it. And I have my app, Facebook app Appetite. And yeah, I'd love for people to come take a look.
Mhm. Yeah, I read your Facebook posts a lot, and you're right, they're right to the point, they're very helpful, and, it's a nice thing to have come through on your Facebook feed, is something
Good.
helpful like that,
Right.
yeah,
I'm glad.
yeah. Well, thank you very much, Karen. We're just doing these
Thank
little
you.
short, catch-ups with people to give people some support during this time, and I appreciate that you could do this with us.
Well, thank you. And people really need to know that all of us do care about them. We care how they're eating, the progress they're making, even if they don't feel it, and that they're not alone.
Mhm. Yeah, well, thank you. The Kiloby Center for Recovery is reaching out to some of the people we've interviewed for the Radical Recovery Summit. We're asking, how can you support people that are struggling during the COVID-19 pandemic? There is a range of programs and support that people are offering, as well as ways to frame this. What is it that's happening inside of you during this time? Come to radicalrecoverysummit.com to click right through to the interviews.